Hey, how you doing? This is Adam Post. Okay, so Disney and Marvel have figured out they made, yes, another big mistake with their Marvel universe. They created a diverse multiverse. Here's what it is. They decided they would create this series, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man, which wasn't the original title, but the purpose of this was through Marvel Animation to create a new series for Peter Parker as he grows into his role as a hero. While not connected to the main Marvel continuity, the series opens up new storytelling possibilities within the Spider-Man universe, allowing for fresh takes on beloved characters, unique villains, and Peter's personal struggles. In other words, a diverse multiverse. Yeah, but you can't do that with episodic series. Yeah, I get the idea, and if it would have worked, maybe it would have given you an opportunity to really expand your diverse multiverse without destroying the film brand. But the problem is, if you're going to do like an odd take on an existing brand, you really have to do a standalone project, like Into the Multiverse. They race swapped Spider-Man. It worked out okay for them. Not because it was done in the comics, because it kind of felt like Spider-Man. It was a one-time thing. It's not a threat to the ongoing continuity. It's not really a threat to the brand. You don't start to think like, okay, well, all this time I might have invested in this character. Now they're going to change it into something else just to push out the traditional character and then try to update it for modern times, which is something fans really just don't like. A standalone project would be okay. An ongoing weekly TV series for, say, 10 weeks, for 10 episodes, is not okay. And they already got a lot of negative social media backlash over this. So Disney and Marvel have gotten together and decided, you know something? We're going to go ahead and release this thing. We'll get it in and out in 4 weeks. They've already got negative social media backlash. They know they're going to get more social media backlash. They may as well just get them out, get it over with, and then move on. Coming from Cosmic Book News, Disney to dump entire Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man series in a month. Disney will be releasing all 10 episodes to the upcoming Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man animated series in just a month's time. And really, if you want to get particular about it, it's actually just 4 weeks. Disney Plus has released the schedule for the series, which begins with the first 2 episodes on Wednesday, January 29th. 3 episodes will follow the next week, with 2 episodes released each week thereafter, concluding in week 4. And unfortunately for them, this obsession with race swapping and gender swapping and trying to mix in gender-curious identity characters into something where it never existed there in the first place, it's just not selling. People are not enthusiastic about it. People don't like it. I mean, you really don't even see any positive responses to it. They may be proud themselves that they're doing this, but the people that support these things and spend time looking at these things and watch these things just aren't impressed. The release strategy is somewhat surprising, as Disney Plus typically rolls out shows week by week. However, when a show seems likely to underperform, they tend to release all episodes at once, as they did with Marvel's Echo. Similarly, all the episodes of What If were released in a single week, a series that never garnered a large audience. While X-Men 97 was released weekly, it's also known that the show doesn't attract many viewers. Now, Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man is set to wrap up in just 4 weeks, and it's getting hammered on social media by fans. And not fans of this show. Fans of the brand. Fans of Spider-Man. Which they have millions upon millions of people still interested in Spider-Man. And a show like this is not going to get people who love Spider-Man to no longer be interested in Spider-Man, but they're not going to pay attention to this show. Unless it's to make fun of it online. It's also worth noting that the upcoming Marvel Zombies animated series, which focuses on Ms. Marvel, another character that nobody cares about, consists of only 4 episodes. Similarly, the Eyes of Wakanda animated series is also limited to 4 episodes. It's very possible that Disney Plus could release all episodes of both shows in a single day or split them across 2 release weeks. 4 weeks seems unlikely. And if you think about it a little bit, if you're at the company and you're figuring out for yourself, okay, look, how am I going to release this thing? I've got 10 of these things, or even those other series that have 4 episodes. If you put out the first episode and you know you're going to get a negative response to it, and then you wait another week and you put out another episode, and you're going to get another negative response to it. The momentum of negativity is only going to build over time. It's just going to be worse and worse and worse for them. And for any brand that has an installed audience base, if you're getting a lot of negative feedback in advance, you know it's going to be even worse when the project comes out. They had been working on this series for a few years, so it's almost easy to forgive, like, okay, you were that clueless when you first started working on this a few years ago that you thought you could do this and get away with it, and it would just kind of work. Now they should know better, and now you see the compressed release schedule. At least that's the best way I can figure it. Is this thing already a bomb? The series was originally set to be in the MCU, but they changed things up. It's probably a good thing it's no longer set in the MCU, as it can't damage the MCU Spider-Man brand nearly as much. But it can damage the overall Spider-Man brand. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is the product of the same woke creatives at Marvel who've been criticized for their handling of the MCU post-Infinity War. Both Norman and Harry Osborn have been race-swapped, and it doesn't seem like MJ, Mary Jane, his girlfriend, will even appear in the series. It's set in an alternative universe, seemingly tailored for modern-day audiences. It is tailored for modern-day audiences, as we picked up from that other article. They're using this as a vehicle to be a diverse multiverse of Marvel characters, particularly focusing on Spider-Man's world. It doesn't look like it's going to work out. Similar to the series What If, the animation quality also looks horrible. It seems like Feige and Marvel are finally getting back on the right track as they've retooled Daredevil Born Again, like Cosmic Book News said they were doing. Rumors suggest Feige has also fired the woke producers responsible for running the MCU. Nate Moore is definitely out. He was one of the worst. The producer of Black Panther and responsible also for gatekeeping and keeping out people from Marvel that actually love the original comic books. Because that's not what Nate Moore wanted for Marvel, and Feige signed off on it, so it's his fault too. And let's not forget Victoria Alonso, who was thrown out of Marvel. Came to her on a Friday and said, look, we're walking you out of the building. Unfortunately, when you're a high-level executive and you get thrown out of a company immediately like she did, you're going to get a multi-million-dollar settlement, and yes, she did get a multi-million-dollar settlement. Additionally, the individuals behind the Disney Plus MCU shows are no longer part of Marvel, as Marvel TV has been restructured. And that's one of the many reasons we're never going to see a She-Hulk Season 2. That said, Marvel still has plenty of garbage in the pipeline, including your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man and the previously mentioned Marvel Zombies. There's no word yet on whether Eyes of Wakanda will be any good. Well, if you're going to produce other things that are just not good, and the executives in charge of all of it are the same, then the rest of it's not going to be any good. But we'll wait and see. Maybe Eyes of Wakanda will be a masterpiece. Captain America Brave New World is also on the horizon, but doesn't sound promising. Thunderbolts, which follows a depressed Yelena, doesn't seem particularly inspiring either. Fantastic Four might have potential, but it's set to feature a female Silver Surfer, and rumors suggest it centers on Sue Storm, with Reed Richards portrayed as holding her back. Supposedly, they have fixed some of the problems with Fantastic Four. We'll just have to see. Wonder Man is also set to be released on Disney Plus, described similar in tone to She-Hulk, and Ironheart is also finally getting released, which sounds like a complete disaster featuring gang members turned activists. Here's the rundown on the series from Cosmic Book News. Marvel introduces Black Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn. With the release of Your Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man's trailer, it's revealed that Marvel has introduced new black versions of Norman Osborn and Harry Osborn, as if that was going to help the series be successful. But apparently that was the whole purpose of the series, to create this new diverse multiverse. The series was meant at one time to be the origin story for the MCU's Spider-Man, originally titled Spider-Man Freshman Year, set before the events of Captain America Civil War, but has since been changed, where the story takes place in an alternate timeline where Norman Osborn becomes the mentor of Peter Parker, not Tony Stark. I mean, really, was this just so you could have a diverse multiverse and give a black mentor to Spider-Man so that Spider-Man would feel like he had a black teacher instead of Tony Stark? It looks like that's what they actually did, yeah. The details for the series were first revealed back in 2022 with art and images released. However, as fans pointed out at the time, the details didn't sync up with the MCU. Spider-Man No Way Home established various characters that didn't exist in the MCU, yet are present in the animated series. Well, that's because your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man is not set in the MCU anymore. The images released for Spider-Man freshman year at the time also led fans to question if the characters were indeed black versions of Norman and Harry Osborn, which the trailer and IMDb now make clear. Your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man was created by LGBT Craig of the Geek writer. Jeff Trammell is the head writer who hasn't previously worked with Marvel, according to IMDb. Trammell is known for Craig of the Geek, which features themes of friendship, diversity, and LGBT representation that have attracted a broad fan base. Not broad enough to make this show a success, we'll have to see, but it's not looking so good. Even Disney knows it's not looking so good. Charlie Cox is also supposed to voice Daredevil, with Vincent D'Onofrio as Wilson Fisk, but again, your friendly neighborhood Spider-Man takes place in an alternate timeline, so that won't be the MCU's Man Without Fear or Kingpin. Creating a diversity-verse version of Marvel's multiverses, it just doesn't really seem like it makes a lot of sense. They really need to send one coherent message of good quality stories with the characters you know and love to maintain that existing base and then build more people on that base. And then if you want to do a crazy spin-off and you want to do a race swap here or a race swap there or a gender swap here, do it, but do it as a standalone movie like already's been done by Sony, and it worked just fine for Sony. It could have worked just fine for Marvel. They could really have just done that. They didn't choose to do that. Eventually, maybe they get on the right track, maybe they don't. At least the new Daredevil TV series does look like it was redone well and does look like it's going to have at least some good moments to it. Let me know what you think of all this in the comments below. Always love to see your ideas. Please be sure you are subscribed to the channel. Click the bell for notifications, give me a thumbs up, and I'll see you again soon with another story. And if I don't see you, I will miss you.